actually one of the
This
jars?
is actually one of the jars in which the Dead Sea Scrolls, some of the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Actually, one of those jars. Cave 1 at Qumran.
Oh,
Remember they numbered the
yeah,
caves?
that's true.
The jackpot was cave
Cave 4.
4. That's right. Good. You're remembering.
Yeah. You're a good teacher.
This is the scroll of Isaiah. Remember, we got a complete Isaiah document.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, and this would be a reproduction, I believe. Why? Because the light would damage it. Let's see. Facsimile of the complete Isaiah scroll. The light, remember the Israeli Antiquities Authority is located in the Rockefeller Museum?
Yes.
So that's where they were kept for many years.
Oh.
I'm not sure if they're still there or not. I don't know. Let's see. The original scroll was written on parchment. It was discovered in Qumran, Cave 1, 1st century BC. We have BCE for before the Common Era, but before Christ. Part of the original scroll is on view in the Biblical Scrolls Showcase. So there is some right now, right here, that we can look at. We sure can't use a flash camera. Light ruins these things. Okay, well, we've left the Shrine of the Book. Can't really talk in there
Oh yeah.
with all the reverberation. We're in a clay jar after all.
Yeah. Very interesting building.
Yeah, it
For
is.
sure.
But I want to note, the thing about the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls is that, I mean, the scroll, we saw just a portion of the actual Isaiah scroll, but it's dated from the 1st to 2nd century before Christ. So it's very ancient, and you realize our most ancient Isaiah scroll before that time was about 1,000 years after Christ. We have about 1,200 years in there with nothing else. And so how do we know after 1,000 years after Christ that Bible hadn't been corrupted over and over and stories get twisted, and how do we know it's accurate at all? And the answer is when we compare the Dead Sea Scroll from 100 or 200 years BC to one that's 1,000 years AD, they match. It's amazing. The accuracy, those scribes, you know, they went through a process that I don't think many people appreciate what they did, how much honor they paid to God's Word. They would wash their hands every time before they got to God's name. And they would then count letters. And if a scroll wasn't perfect, it had to be destroyed, buried. And so they went to extreme caution to make sure they're transmitting the Word perfectly. So what we have today really is what Jesus was reading in the 1st century. It's the same thing. Okay.
It's amazing stuff. Everything's accurate, guys. The Bible is real.
Yeah, it is accurate.